Welcome, everybody. Nice to see your faces, even on a screen. So what we were given today from Food for Life was spinach and green beans, also with some lemon and some onions. So the the challenge for us was to come up with something that we could make with all of these things. So tonight we are going to make a green bean uh, with spinach and chickpea curry. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start by making a curry paste. Okay. So we're going to use a blender and we are going to start adding our ingredients into here. So we are going to take half of an onion. So just roughly chop. And that just goes all in the blender. And then we've got half of a green pepper. If you don't have green pepper, that's okay. You can use a red or a yellow or an orange, whatever you've got in the fridge. And then that just goes into the blender. And then we've got some nice fresh cilantro here. So we're just going to give this a rough chop, stems included. Okay. I really love cilantro, so I'm going to be putting in a little bit extra here. And then we've also got some fresh ginger. If you can, the fresh really brings the taste out of the dish a lot more than dried. If you are going to be using dried, then you can do so. Just add a touch more ginger than what the recipe calls for the fresh. Okay. So with ginger, we're just going to take off the outer skin here. So you can use a vegetable peeler, you could use your knife. A quick story. When I traveled Australia, my sister and I picked ginger root as one of our jobs. And I have a whole new respect for ginger. It was back-breaking work. And I think actually our legs and our hands and our arms were stained this color from the soil. It was really something. There we go. So nice rough chop of our ginger. This goes right into the blender. Okay. So now we're going to be using a lemon. So just make sure that you have an eye check to make sure that there's no seeds in there. So we're actually going to be using the fleshy part of our lemon. So we're going to take off the rind. So I usually just cut it in half so you have a nice flat surface on your cutting board. And then just cut the top off, makes it a little bit easier. And then you can use your knife and just run it down the sides here. So we're just taking off the pith and the peel. That pith is really astringent, so we don't want that in there. Okay, and then we'll just do a rough chop. And then just again, just making sure that there's no pits. Oops. So I've got a few pits in here, so I'm just going to take these out with a spoon. Okay, and those go right into the blender. Okay, so I'm going to dry off my hands because we are going to be putting in a hot pepper. So if you have gloves, I would highly suggest you putting them on. There's nothing worse than handling a hot pepper and washing your hands thinking you're okay, and then you go and itch your eye later. It's very unpleasant. Okay, so I have some, let's see, I have some spicy hot peppers here. It's a Thai pepper. So I am just going to choose one. That's all you'll need. So I'm just going to take off the top and then I'm just going to cut into some pieces here and put into the blender. Okay. Okay, so then we move on to our dry spices. So in here, I've got a little bit of sea salt, some freshly ground pepper, a little bit of cinnamon, some cumin seeds, and a little bit of turmeric. I know in the recipe it says ground turmeric or fresh turmeric. Sometimes fresh turmeric can be a little bit hard to find. but they do have it at a few grocery stores here in Oakville if anybody's interested. I know I've seen it at Organic Garage on Kerr Street. And then, so we've got our mixture here. I'm just going to add in about a tablespoon of water just to help it blend. Okay, and I'm going to put this on and then we're going to mix it up. All right, here we go. Well, it's not working.
I feel like it's going to get loud.
It's going to get loud in 1 second once it works. Okay, hold on.
No problem.
Let's see what's going on here. Let's try a different plug.
So folks who are joining us a little bit late, I'm just seeing people sneak in from the waiting room. So on this week's session, we are preparing rescued food provided by our partners at Food for Life. And we are making a green bean chickpea spinach curry. And it looks like Chef Laura is looking to blend up some of our items.
Okay, guys, having problems with my blender, so we are going to put it in the food processor.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you. All right. What is going on? All right.
Emerald Lagasse would never have to put up with this.
Okay, hold on. Let's try it now. Oh, I'm not getting any power on this plate. Sorry, guys. Here we go. All right. Cooking with fire. 1 second. Okay. I'm just going to use a spoon just to push this down. Oh my gosh, it smells so delicious. So what you're looking for when you're mixing this up is that you want a nice paste. Starting to come together. Okay, that looks good. All right, I'll show you guys what it's looking like here. Okay. Can everybody see? So it kind of looks like a pico de gallo kind of salsa.
It looks like Emily, are you making the same meal? Nice. Leanne, are you preparing the same? Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Kylie, you too? Dang, you guys are pros. That's awesome. I really appreciate that you guys didn't turn on your microphone so we could all just listen to the symphony of blenders there. I had the mistake of wearing my earbuds and that was just tremendous. No, it's okay.
Okay, so we are going to move over. Oh my gosh, this smell is so amazing. Okay. It is turns into more of a paste, so we're going to cook out some of the liquid. And then we're going to add in half of a can of diced tomatoes, some coconut milk, and some chickpeas.
Looks great.
Mm-hmm. So for dinner, if this is what you're having for your dinner, you could pair this with some basmati rice. You could pair it with some naan bread, or you can just have it as is. But if you put it with a little bit of rice, actually, it will go a long way. Okay. Okay, we're starting to come up to a simmer here. I just found a lemon seed, so I'm just going to take that out. We have some sneaky ones. Okay. I find that the lemon in here really makes this dish, that fresh lemon. Okay. How's everyone doing? Okay?
It's cool. I feel like this show allows us to get a mini tour of Oakville kitchens.
I love that we have lots of people.
Oh, Hallman family is cooking, it sounds like.
Oh,
They Cass just wrote in that it smells so good.
Oh, it does. Okay, so while you're waiting for your paste to reduce, feel free to open up your cans of tomatoes and chickpeas and coconut milk. Coconut milk the fat tends to rise up into the can, so you might want to give that a stir. And then you can save your other half of your coconut milk. You can add it to soup, or if you wanted to make a nice Thai curry, you could also do that. Okay, we are almost ready to go. So if you have all of your ingredients chopped the night before, the paste is already made, you could have this on the table within 15 minutes. Okay, so I'm almost ready. Can everybody see that the liquid's kind of evaporating out of here?
Yeah, you know what? We've been really fortunate where it looks like it's moved to like HD feed for some reason. It looks wonderful.
Great.
I don't know why, but the Wi-Fi gods are shining on the QEP kitchen right now.
It's our lucky day. Okay, so this looks pretty good. So we're just gonna add in half of our can of tomatoes. Okay. I'm just gonna put this out just for a minute. And at this step, I'm actually going to add in, I'm gonna do my green beans, and then I'm gonna add my coconut milk in near the end. Okay, so I've got about 150 grams of French green beans here. Okay, about 2 big handfuls, you don't have to be exact. And we just want to cook our green beans until they're just still on the crunchy side, because we're going to add in our spinach and our chickpeas, and that's going to need to cook just for another couple of minutes. So I was talking to a friend of mine earlier, and we were talking about how iron gets absorbed into the body. So when you are looking to incorporate more iron into your body, if you have a lot of dark leafy green vegetables, so today spinach, it has to be paired with something with vitamin C, so tomatoes, for the iron to absorb into your body. good.
Sorry, so help me out here. So if there is iron, you require, like you need to be eating it with vitamin C in order to eat the iron, like for you to ingest the iron?
Right. So when it's a plant-based iron, you need that extra vitamin C for it to be absorbed into your body.
Okay.
Fun fact. So now we're going to add our coconut milk. I had just more than half here. I'm just going to give that a stir.
Chef, was there anything special about the chickpeas you added? I know sometimes they come in water, oil, cooked.
Oh, that's a good question. So I just used ones that are ready to use. I just drained them and then I just added them to the dish. So we just had the Life Smart, the no salt added. But all kinds are fine. Okay, so now I'm gonna add in about 4 handfuls of fresh spinach. I have a little bit more. I'm just gonna use all of it here. It looks like a lot, but it's gonna cook down. And then you might need to alter your seasonings a little bit with some adding a little bit more salt or some pepper. Okay, so we'll let this cook out for a second, let the spinach wilt. So while that's cooking out, I'm just going to chop up a little bit more cilantro just to have as a garnish. Even if you wanted to, you could serve it with a lemon slice. If you don't want the heat of the curry, then you can also omit the pepper. But the pepper actually, it really does add a lot of depth to the dish. So you could always add in half if you prefer.
Chef, I know that we are making this to be consumed by, this is for the community. So we're probably staying away from things like extreme heat or kind of risky ingredients. What could you add to really spice this dish up?
Well, you could add another pepper if you wanted it to be really spicy, but I find even just with one, I think that's more than enough for this dish. I guess it depends too on your tolerance. Mine's not that great.
Emily also wants to know, should she have all the canned things in already?
Yes, sorry.
Yes.
So Emily, when you finished your paste and then you put in your green beans, just cook out your green beans for about 2-3 minutes, and then you can add your chickpeas and the coconut milk. So the tomatoes in with the paste is going to help to cook your beans. Okay, so mine is still looking a little bit thin. So I'm just going to cook mine out a little bit more just because I added more than half of the can of coconut milk because that's just what I had. But again, this is brilliant on a bed of rice. This will easily feed a family of 4. How's everyone's doing? Okay?
I saw some heads, Kylie wasn't so enthused, but we got a thumbs up from Leanne, and I think Emily is playing catch up.
Okay. Emily, are you okay?
It's a thumbs up. It's a thumbs up.
Okay.
Also, like it's so nice to be able to see the HD feed of the food, especially for like something like a curry dish, because there's so much complex flavor and color. It's wonderful to see.
Mm-hmm. And it smells really good.
I'm out in the hallway for those watching, so I'm obviously distance, but I'm out in the hallway at the community center and people are coming because they can see.
So this recipe is vegan. So if you wanted to add another protein to it, whether it be maybe chicken or tofu, you could certainly do that. If you're gonna add the chicken, I would have it cut into smaller pieces and then just have it cooking in the broth. And I would put that in while I was cooking the paste out. So this looks done to me. So I'm going to turn off my heat. Okay. And then you can serve it in a bowl. You can serve it on top of rice or with some naan bread, whichever you like.
Hey, chef, this is just a curiosity for myself.
Mhm.
What would I do to make this a soup? Like if I added, say, like coconut milk, or if I thinned it out, like how could I stretch this to be a soup?
You could add maybe some vegetable broth, Daniel. You could add a little bit more coconut milk. But you're not a vegetarian, but you could add chicken stock if you wanted to.
Mhm.
But yeah, you could do that. You could add more vegetables as well.
Would it be as simple as just blending and adding stock?
Oh, to make it a pureed soup?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that. Sometimes beans have a hard time breaking down. So I'm not sure if they would or not, but you could give it a try.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Unless you have a Vitamix and everything goes pretty well in a Vitamix, breaks down. Yeah, this looks great. Chickpeas sometimes can have a hard time breaking down too. But it's a good question. But yeah, if you wanted to make it more into a soup, then add some broth and add some more coconut milk for sure. And how's everyone doing? Dinner on the table?
Head shaking. There's busy people out there.
Busy people. But yeah, it's a great recipe. It's versatile. And again, you can have this on the table and ready in about 15 minutes when you've got everything ready to go. And it smells amazing.
Oh, Emily's giving us a close-up. She's got a pretty HD feed too.
Oh, I'm gonna sneak over to the camera so I can see.
Hers looks like it's a bit creamier, or like there's more coconut milk.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Kylie, are you brave enough to show us yours? Oh, it's a full laptop move, eh? That's tough. Sorry.
Yes, and it's not that great because I put too much spinach in it, but this is the final.
It will cook down. It looks great.
It does? Okay. Well, there's more spinach in it though, but
All good. Spinach is good for you.
Thank you, Kylie. I forgot the spinach.
Okay.
oh.
Which
So
is,
four-
yeah.
About 4 big handfuls, Emily. And it only takes a minute to cook out. So once
Susan,
your spinach is wilted.
Susan writing in the chat that they all look so good.
Aw.
Nice job, everyone. I can see Ruby certainly approving. She's shaking her spatula at the screen. Nice work, Ruby.
Remember at the end, just to give it a little bit of a taste, to see if it needs any more salt or pepper. I can't do that because I have my mask on. You can do it at home.
Perfect. Now, because it looks as though these are mostly adults viewing. If someone were to want to pair something with this meal, I know that you're not a mixologist, or what do they call sommelier?
Yes. Usually with a spicier food, you would tend to lean towards more of a white wine.
Sweeter.
Maybe like more like a Gewürztraminer or Riesling would be nice.
Oh, Oma, I missed your name. So Oma is commenting that the colors are lovely. Nice
Thank
job, everyone. And
Thanks,
Cass,
Oma.
Cass is asking if this can be frozen.
You can freeze it. And then when you heat it up again, just gentle heat because of the coconut milk. So you don't want it to split.
That makes sense.
Or you could package it with rice and then this on top in the freezer, and you could have that as a meal ready to go for lunch or another dinner.
Tremendous. Well, do we want to let everyone in on what we're making next week, or at least the theme of it, now that we're wrapping up this meal?
I don't, sure, Daniel, why don't you let everyone know what we're doing?
I know we haven't decided on the options yet, and I apologize if this is a niche market, but next weekend is a very important weekend for sports fans. It is the Super Bowl. And because this is, for the broader community, I tend to believe that many people are going to watch the Super Bowl. So we will be making Super Bowl snack foods that are traditional to Kansas City and that are traditional to Tampa Bay. So we still have to kind of pick what those are, but if you can join us next Wednesday, there might be a little bit of Kansas City barbecue, there might be a little Cuban influence from Tampa Bay, but there will be finger foods that you can prepare for your Super Bowl party with those loved ones in your household. So
Yeah.
we might give something called deviled crab a try, or I don't know, or yuca fries, but we'll figure something out. Andrew's saying wings. Yeah, wings are pretty easy, man. Come on, give us some credit.
Maybe we'll even do cauliflower wings.
Can there be some vegetarian options? Absolutely. Yeah. Cass is asking the same thing. So Chef Laura is a vegetarian, so I don't think she would let us sneak anything by without there being vegetarian options. But if you have if anyone is familiar with Tampa Bay culture or Kansas City culture, please let us know. I was really relieved when Green Bay didn't win, because I was like, we just do cheese, or Buffalo would have been a fun one.
Buffalo would have been fun. There would have been a lot of options for Buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But it will be fun and interesting.
But we got stuck with Kansas City and Tampa Bay, two of the most well-known culinary destinations in America, of course.
I'll take your word for it, Daniel.
Yeah. Well, so please join us, and please, if I know that we get a heavily female audience, but if there are husbands and besides some of those female characters in our screen each week, please feel free to invite them in, and they can take part of the Super Bowl celebrations early.
Daniel, what time does the Super Bowl normally start?
So it actually starts in September in the draft, and then we follow the teams all year, and then eventually the Super Bowl. Which do you mean the coverage of it?
Yes, like, so the final game, it's an evening thing, right? It usually starts at 7.
If you want to look at it as just the game, not a cultural event, or
Sorry.
a scan of the calendar year, then yes, it's around like 5 o'clock. You should be at your television, definitely.
And I
But
think
really, but
sorry.
I think it's like 6:30 the game actually starts.
Oh, okay, because they do some pre-game entertainment. Is that right?
We should wrap this show up now.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know we have a musical guest, but I'm not sure who that is yet.
Yeah. It's the weekend.
Oh,
It's the weekend,
okay.
which my wife's a huge fan of. So I will definitely have company watching the Super Bowl for at
That's
least
awesome.
the halftime show.
All right. Well, everyone, please enjoy your curry.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Later, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you all next week. Football
Thank
fans,
you.
feel free to come out. Bye, everyone.